it's Dr. Rick, founder of Herbal 411. Today's unboxing is going to be on these 6 products. Now, I'm not really going to do all 6, but I am going to talk about CBN. CBN is cannabinol. It's one of the byproducts of the cannabis plant. Everybody knows of THC. That's the psychoactive part that gets you to relax because it stimulates CB1 receptors up here. But not too many people know about CBD, CBN, CBG. There's a whole bunch of CB that can be extracted from the plant during processing. The great thing with cultivators now is that they can take a plant and essentially process it down to specifically which byproduct they want. And they can package that and put it into some form of inhale, edible, or tincture. The problem I have seen, especially those of you who follow me on my YouTube channel, is that the dispensaries haven't really been putting out their CBD products or their high-dose CBD products for about 1.5 to 2 years now, since COVID started. I thought it was just because it was too expensive or hard to process. I think we've given enough time and money speaks, so the likelihood is that the demand for inhaled products, vape products are outstanding. Then I can understand how cultivators specifically want to put their money into that form instead of processing, because anytime you process a plant, it's a lot of manpower and it takes a little bit of effort to do it, so you have to mark up the price. If it's not bought off the shelves, then it sits there and I guess you could potentially lose money if you're a cultivator. But it's not fair. I mean, the state approved medical cannabis on the backs of people who are suffering with medical disease. But a lot of us don't have anxiety, we just have inflammation, autoimmunity, inflammation, joints that are arthritic, back pain. When you don't have the CBD and you only have the THC, that'll put a lot of people into just funneling them into THC products, which I think can make you sleepy. And those of us who have inflammation and back pain already, or chronic headaches, we're already losing sleep. That's a fine line anyway. I'll get off my soapbox now, but during the next elections, if you could vote to get cannabis off of Schedule 1, I think that would be a big boon for the Fed. Then they will hopefully make this legal in all states. And CBN helps with sleep. It's typically made from old or aged THC. When you have a clump of resin, cannabis, and you let it age, CBN is a byproduct. Obviously, that takes some time. I'm going to review all these products. I did do a video on snooze berries. Now there's snoozier berries with more CBN. And I'll talk about this at the end, but we have a couple different products here. All of them are gummy, and I have a problem with that too. So those of you who know that I'm trying to fine-tune my health and my nutrition, you're not supposed to have sugar. Inevitably, gummies are going to have sugar of some sort. I mean, it's going to have gelatin and probably some other things to make it taste yummy. Will that little bit of sugar destroy my gains? Probably not, but if I could have it in just a tincture or a capsule or a tablet, that'd be even better. Just like medicine, I can take it with the rest of my supplements instead of thinking I'm eating candy, and especially with teeth at night. And I labeled these already. So this is the Botanist. This has 10 pieces of what looks like lime flavored, that's kiwi flavored, 10 pieces of gummy. And each gummy, I'll just call it off now, supposedly has 10 milligrams of CBN. That is the highest. So I started with this first. Unfortunately, I have to trust the labeling, and the labeling is impossible to read. I had to put my glasses on. I couldn't even read the small print there, but I had to look it up online before I did the video. So 10 milligrams CBN per gummy. So technically, you can do half a gummy to a full gummy at night. The only blowback would be if you're super sensitive to THC. This is listed as 1:1, so there's also going to be 10 milligrams of THC, which should make you sleepy. However, it can also make you high. And those of you who are paranoid, you gotta be careful. Those of you who have it last into the morning, when you wake up and you trip on something, not good. When you first start out, every night build up more and more and more until you eventually get a continuous night's sleep, and then stop at that. And the limiting factor is that this was like $20 for 10 pieces. That's 10 nights. If I cut it in half, that'll be 20 nights. That should be enough to reset your circadian rhythm, but I'll talk about that in a second. This is Pomegranate Punch. This also has 10 pieces of gummy, and each gummy has approximately 5 milligrams of CBN. You know, it says 5 milligrams of CBN on the internet, but if you look here, which you probably can't see that, on the label it says 0 CBN. So who do I trust? Internet saying there's 5 milligrams, or the label that says 0? I don't know how they can come up with that. This too is about 20 bucks for 10 pieces. That's gonna go fast. This is Camino. This has 20 pieces of candy, and each has 1 milligram of CBN. So pound for pound, pretty decent. Now, the only thing I liked about these guys is that they actually put on the label how much sugar they had. Each of the gummies has 2 grams of sugar and 2 grams of carb. At least they're coming out with and telling the truth. This is Bebo. It has 8 plumberry candies or gummies. It's supposed to be 5 to 1, so that means 5 of THC, which comes out to about 40 milligrams per container, and then 1 of CBN as far as a ratio. When I looked online, it said 1 milligram of CBN per candy, and I'm not sure how they came up with that, but that's the only place I could find it. This and Camino I found online. I couldn't really see it on the packaging. This is Petra. It has 40 pieces. They're mints, so I'm not sure there's as much candy or sugar, but there's 40 pieces, and each of these pieces has 1 milligram of CBN. So I don't know what this will taste like, but this might be easy to pop in, and hopefully it doesn't have the sugar since it is a mint. It's something different, and the container's kind of cool. Last but not least, these are snoozier berries. Again, the Incredibles is a great line of edible products, and the snoozier berries, there's 10 of these candies. Each has 5 milligrams of CBN. So that's pretty decent. However, the winner is still going to be the kiwi at 10 milligrams of CBN per piece. My suggestion is, if you want to reset that circadian rhythm, you at least go 2 weeks straight. So you buy one of these products and you stick with it every single night for 2 weeks, even on the weekends. You also have to stay away from alcohol. Alcohol can make you sleepy, but the half-life of alcohol, if you have it as a nightcap, will usually wake you up after it's degraded by the liver. And it takes, in an average person, about 3 to 4 hours. Most people usually wake up at about 3 to 4 hours after they had their nightcap, and that defeats the purpose because you'll have fatty liver disease. And plus, that's a lot of sugar and a lot of carbohydrate. I've had people who also use Benadryl at night, or diphenhydramine, also known as Tylenol PM. That too gives you a false sense of sleepiness, but it makes the brain very tired. It doesn't necessarily give you REM sleep, which is the refreshing parts of sleep. So if you go to sleep because your eyes are so heavy because you've taken an antihistamine, that's what Benadryl is, diphenhydramine. If you go to sleep because you've taken an antihistamine, you're unconscious. And then when you wake up in the morning, you did go to sleep the entire night, 6 to 8 hours, but your brain didn't get the rest. So technically, you can actually have an accident, become dizzy, fall down, or have your coordination off in the morning because the Benadryl is still in your system. Remember, Benadryl is an antihistamine, so it blocks histamine receptors. And that's a little bit different than CBN. CBN is a very loosely attracted byproduct of cannabis that doesn't really attach to the CB1 receptors. It attaches more to the CB2 receptors. CB1 is responsible for, if you stimulate them, the psychoactive effect. CB2 are responsible for improved immunity and decreased inflammation. So with that, I'd say the CBNs are great. The fact that we know there's THC in all the products, that's fine. You just have to be careful, especially my older patients, about the heavy part, which might last into the morning. As a reference, always start low, work your way up to highest dose you can tolerate. Keep a journal of the products you buy so you'll know what works and what doesn't work, because you'll probably forget after a couple months. I'll put a link below for where I do cannabis journaling. And then don't mix it with other things. If you're going to do anything properly, wean off the alcohol for about a week and then induce the trial with your CBN. Just do one product. If it doesn't work after 2 weeks, then I'd switch over to the next product. And honestly, you're not going to have that much product available because of the price point. So hopefully this gives you a couple of good ideas. I would still say the snooze berries gave me a best night's sleep I've had in a long time last night. So I'm going to go with this for 2 weeks straight to see if I can reset my circadian rhythm. But if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. If you are interested, consider subscribing. I do videos all the time with regards to lifestyle change, cannabis, or just hiking and exercise. So thanks for watching up to this point in time. See you at the next video.